Think about this scenario for 1 second. You answer a 911 call where the voice on the other end is panicked, desperate, and begging for help. It may even be a voice you recognize. But later, you discover that it was just an AI-generated deepfake designed to manipulate emergency services. As AI-powered deepfake technology advances, emergency communication centers face a rising threat that could not only disrupt operations, but put lives at risk. But there's good news. Next Generation 911 has the potential to fight back. And that's up next on this episode of TiPS, Today in Public Safety.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Here's your host, Fletch, with today's tips.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, where we dive into the latest challenges and innovations in emergency response. I'm Mark Fletcher, I'm an ENP, and I'm Vice President of Public Safety Solutions at 911 Inform. 3 times a week, I bring you the insights from the front lines of public safety technology. So let's dive in for today. Deepfake 911 calls, from nuisance to national threat. Deepfake technology has already made waves in politics, social media, and cybersecurity. But now it's poised to create a crisis in emergency response. AI-generated voices can mimic real individuals with shocking accuracy, making it nearly impossible for a human call taker to distinguish a real emergency from a sophisticated hoax. So while prank calls and swatting incidents are nothing new, the ability to fabricate a convincing emergency report using AI takes deception to a whole new level. This isn't just a nuisance anymore. It's a direct attack on public safety and diverts resources from real emergencies and putting communities at risk. If a deepfake emergency call leads to a massive police or fire response, the collateral damage could be catastrophic and even deadly. Next Generation 911, a critical defense against deepfake calls. So what's the good news here? Next Generation 911 has the potential to detect, filter, and prevent deepfake calls before they reach a live operator. Unlike legacy systems that rely solely on voice and telephone numbers, Next Generation 911 is IP-based and designed to authenticate and validate multimedia data. And by doing this, provide an extra layer of verification. Here's how. First, there's identity validation. NG911 networks can implement identity verification at the device or network level that helps ensure that the caller is who they claim to be. Next are AI detection tools, fighting AI with AI. Today's advanced AI models can analyze speech patterns, flagging potential deepfakes in real time. This is helpful in alerting call takers before they commit resources to a fraudulent emergency. And finally, multimedia context. Unlike traditional 911, NG911 can incorporate additional data and additional sources like video, location metadata, and IoT sensors that together can better confirm the legitimacy of any emergency call simply by corroborating the data from these other sources. What about punitive measures? Can laws deter deepfake swatters? In many cases, there's a growing call for stricter penalties against those who weaponize deepfake technology, especially against emergency services. But while harsher laws can serve as a deterrent, it's the enforcement that remains a challenge. Many swatters operate across jurisdictions, and even internationally. And this is what makes the detection and prosecution extremely difficult. So in the battle against deepfake 911 calls, it's technology and prevention that may be more effective than punishment after the fact. Speaking of technology, is STIR shaken enough? You've probably heard a lot about STIR shaken as a protocol designed to help combat robocalls and call spoofing. It was designed to add some level of attestation to phone calls. But the problem is deepfake calls don't necessarily rely on number spoofing. They rely on AI-generated voices and social engineering because they sound convincing. So without stronger identity tokens and enhanced authenticated methods, STIR shaken alone is just not going to be enough to stop deepfake emergencies from getting through. The rise of the super swatter. If this problem is left unchecked, deepfake technology is going to eventually enable a new breed of super swatters. Bad actors capable of faking voices, background noises, and even entire conversations in real time. And that's going to make detection nearly impossible without advanced AI-based countermeasures. The combination of AI-driven deception and social engineering is a potentially toxic mix that could lead to a crisis where public safety answering points face an unmanageable flood of false alarms, effectively creating a combination DDoS and TDoS attack simultaneously. That is a scary thought. The race against hacker innovation. Technology constantly evolves, and so do the tactics of cyber criminals. While NG911 and AI-driven detection tools do offer some hope, public safety agencies have to remain agile. They need to be able to continuously adapt and stay ahead of malicious actors. And this means investing in cybersecurity training and potentially dedicated personnel. They'll need to collaborate with AI experts and white hats as a way to ensure that emergency communication technology evolves as rapidly as the threats against it. While it is a scary picture, at least we're catching it early. That's it for today's episode of TiPS Today in Public Safety. Thanks so much for listening. For more updates and insights, remember to follow me on social media at Fletch911, and you can visit 911tips.com for all of our past episodes. Remember to like, subscribe, and drop a comment with your thoughts or a future story suggestion. Let's keep the conversation going, because when it comes to public safety, staying informed is half the battle. Stay safe, thanks for listening, and if you're in public safety, thanks for what you do every day. I'll see you next time.
You've been listening to TiPS Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Hosted by Fletch and available every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Catch past episodes on 911tips.com. That's 911tips.com. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember to join us each week for the latest on NG911. I am Spider Harrison, the official 911 voiceover dude. Catch me on Sirius XM on various channels, including 90s on 9, the 10 spot, and on the Weekend Countdown on Hits 1. Or don't, regret it for the rest of your life. Either way, I'm good. TiPS is brought to you by 911 Inform, the leading next-generation 911 solution for enterprise compliance with federal 911 regulations. Visit them on the web at 911inform.com. 911 Inform, making every second count when it matters the most.